Today I'm going to be trying to seed save. This was my cilantro. You can see these right here, these little balls are the, I guess now coriander seeds, but I'm just going to attempt to kind of pull them off. And I'm outside, so I'll just throw the shank or the stem on the ground on the patio. Then I'll sweep it off. And these were flowers at one point when the coriander went to seed. So I'm just going to pull all these little balls off. Probably will test these since I've never saved the seed, but coriander is hard to germinate. It just takes so long, so you got to be patient. Sometimes I lack patience. All right, I got most the stem off, but the problem is the seeds are now going through the holes. And I would probably still will do a paper towel when you wet it and put it in a sack and see if it germinates. But I'm going to take these seeds that have fell in here, some of these bigger ones out, and kind of lift it down here, take some more of this out, whatever seeds are in there. I'm going to put in this little pot. All right, let's grab a few of these, put these in here, and get these little sacks I'm going to save, and I will do a test on them. And whip and miss the hole. But I want a lot of cilantro. I like that here. I'm going to pour more in here. And then I'm going to cover it. Almost all covered. All right, there we go. I'll put it over with my seedling starts to see how it does. All right, radish seeds. This isn't radish. These are peas, sugar daddy peas that I saved and dried. I'm just going to crack open and pop them out. I can replant now. I can do peas a couple times a year here in Mesa. So I will plant these and update you if they actually grow. Next up is my lettuce seeds that I saved. Again, brown paper bag, Trader Joe's. It's random that I actually went there. I don't really shop there. So, and the seeds are right there. Little tiny. And these flowers. Alright, there's the seeds. So I'm going to just take the flower part of it and then attempt, well, nothing came out in that one. There we go. There are the seeds. I'm not sure why those are lighter. And see, I've heard it's not, oh, there they are. see them all in there. I heard it's not worth saving lettuce seeds. So they were further down in the flower than I thought. So I thought if I pulled the white stuff, they would come out. And that one did. Look at all those that came out. And there was a few that stayed in the pod. So I wonder if I can just take the pod and smash it. Let's try it. Just rolling at my fingers. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth my time when you get like a bazillion seeds. But the fact that you can, I want to try. See, there's more in the pod once you open it. So, kind of smashing it in my fingers and then just flicking the seeds out. I wonder if I could go to this spot in my garden that I actually want to plant lettuce. Let's see if we can do that. Alright, let's pick some of these. I can see a bunch of seeds right there. And a few more. Alright. Now I'll walk over to the garden. Push eucalyptus leaves back. And take and just kind of smash the little flowers up with the seeds. I want to say I'm a lazy gardener, maybe an impatient gardener, maybe some of both at sometimes, or trying to find alternative ways to make things easier. Alright. Oh, that's a big one right there. Okay. Just probably overdoing it because since I've never done this before, I want to see if it works. It's a little dry and a little surprised it is fall, and I did turn down how long I should be, or how long I was watering. Alright, I'm going to give that a good water and label it, and we'll see if it grows. Alright, got those all planted. I think what I've decided what I want to do is I'm just going to pick off the little flowery tips and bag those, and then when I go to plant again, I'll do what I just did. Maybe I'll check those in a couple days and actually see if they came up. Probably should do the wet paper towel test also, but I'm just gonna kind of grab them. Yeah, I'm getting impatient, getting a lot of the stock. It's okay, right? They're my own personal seeds. Can do what I want. As my dad would say, do what you want, because you will anyways. A lot of time that's true in life. We ask for people's opinions, but we're still going to do what we want. Don't have any. There's an old Ziploc bag. This is what I actually tested seeds in last year. So yeah, it says dill. I put it with wet paper towel and put the seeds in there and then tested it. And like I said, I will probably do that. You can see all the black things are seeds. So scoop them into there. Try to do that with the box. All right. Should have brought my favorite garden tool out, which is my permanent marker. Let's see, what do we got next? Sunflower seeds. And lots of sunflower seeds. So maybe the colander will work again. I had time before I was going to the ranch, and I just took them all and threw them in boxes. And more boxes. These actually hurt my fingers to do, if I remember correctly. All right. Let's get the colander back out. These little ones I really liked. So, no, those aren't the seeds. These were a little immature, so those were the seeds actually. But you can tell that there's like not a real like sunflower in them. So let's go to the bigger one that was on the same one. And I don't know if these are viable. They actually never really did form a seed head. So I'm not going to spend my time doing that one. You got to get through this fuzzy part. And I noticed that the seeds are more mature in my experience on the outside. All right. These are more like a sunflower seed. So these ones I will save. Right there. I will save these ones. Those ones just never quite formed a seed. There. See? This one actually formed a seed. So I'm gonna pile here my Trader Joe's sack. I'm gonna dump those in. At least going to compost them. These are fairly little, but I think they will fit through the colander, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the colander. But they do hurt my fingers. They're a little dry. They're a little pokey. I'm gonna get my gardening gloves on and just see. You can see the seed popped right back up. I saved these months ago, so they are nice and dry. Yeah, so these have fully formed seeds in them. And these are my favorite. They're like the autumn mix. They're the burgundy sunflower seeds. And I just kind of rub them out. I have a ton of them, so I'm not worried about losing some. And when I plant them, I usually plant pretty heavy. All right. So that's the leftover. And then I can go in there and pick out some of the good seeds and the white stuff, but I'm going to keep going because I'm just going to probably bag them all together with all of this extra stuff in it. I'm not eating them, so it's okay. All right, look at all those seeds that came out, the black ones. I heard you could like put them in the wind and all that shaft will blow away because the seed's heavier. People say you can plant sunflower seeds year round, but I did notice I planted a little late. But there's many months you still can in Phoenix, but they really didn't do well when I planted them about 2 months ago. They were stunted. They only got about 2 feet high, maybe 3. But all right, guess I could, well, it does look like when I sifted all this white stuff comes to the top. But when I had planted them last time, I just didn't grab that quite big of a handful, but grabbed like 3 or 4 seeds and put it in each hole. All right, little guy. Nope, nothing in this little guy. I did start have to protecting them from the birds because they were eating them. Well, I have lots of other little ones to go through, but let's do one of the bigger heads that I got. This guy, that's my hand. It's not wrapping all the way down to the bottom. He's huge, and you can see his seeds. And it's kind of hard to break. Trying to break it in half. So you can see there where the bird started to get to it. But I'm going to pull the seeds out this way. I'm not being careful. I have like 4 or 5 of these heads, or 6 or 7. So I'm just going to continue to do this to get the sunflower seeds out. I'm probably going to take a seat, do it in the yard, but that's how you harvest sunflower seeds. Not quite finished. You can see all of my mess as I was doing them. I think I have 2 more heads to do, and I got about a gallon Ziploc sack. I don't eat them, even though these are mammoths. I could. I planted them in an area that had lots of cat poop in it, and I Googled and I decided I didn't want to eat. This is my Kajari melon. It had issues. I don't know what that is. There was ants right there, but I don't see actually where they got into it. I don't want to eat it, but I do want to save the seeds. The seeds are fairly expensive. I got them off of Baker Creek. The few that we did harvest, I did quite enjoy, and they smell so super sweet. So I'm going to cut it open, kind of pry it open at the same time. So you can see here, didn't get a lot of fruit where that damage was, but it does seem like there is quite a few viable seeds in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of scoop them out onto this plate. I did hear once, I don't know, several YouTube channels ago, that if they do fall out easily, that means that they are nice, viable seeds and it was ripe. Don't know any, don't have any proof on that, but what I will do is I will take this strainer and kind of squeeze the seeds off the pulp, I guess you would say, and put them in there. Kind of pulling them off of its little, there we go, keep pulling till I get most of them off. I mean, smells like the sweetest watermelon you've ever had. Unfortunately, because it had the ants in it, I'm not going to eat this one. I'm hoping I'll get it better planted next time. I had 2 issues. I had it coming into my son baking a cake. But I planted them in with an Armenian cucumber, and it kind of overgrew the Kajari melon and the other melons that were in there. But I will now take this over to the sink, give them a good washing, and I'll be right back.
After letting the seeds set in the windowsill for a couple of days, I would give them a stir occasionally, and you can see that they were kind of filmy, and that is the fermentation that's breaking down the gel on the outside of the seeds. I went ahead and pulled them into a strainer, and then began to rinse the film off of them in my sink and rinse out the jar. And I'm going to pour the seeds back into the jar here and give them water and stir again the top. And then you can see the seeds that are floating, and the seeds that are floating are bad seeds. So I am stirring them and then flicking the bad seeds out. And this, after you sort out the bad seeds and the good seeds, I went ahead and strained them again and then put them on some wax paper and patted them dry and let them set for a couple of days.
The paper towel test. And what I do is I wet a paper towel or a piece of a paper towel and I stick it in these little snack bags. And these are some of the autumn sunflower seeds that I harvested from my own seeds. And I keep the paper towel wet. If I have to go in there occasionally and missed it, and I've given them up to 3 weeks because cilantro sometimes you don't think it's any good. And what you do is you stick them in there, and then if they start to sprout, that's not a sprout, that's dirt, then you know that they are good. And then you can plant them from that state, and that has worked. But those are the red sunflowers, and these are the Mammoth sunflowers. And I've heard to soak them and not soak them, and I've done them both ways, and it doesn't really seem to matter. So I'm going to stick these in here, in this one. And then people say put it in a cold, dark place. I've actually stuck them on top of my refrigerator. I do put, these are the Kajari seeds. Let me get these in here. A little hard to see those because they are the same color. I just space them out so they won't touch each other. It's a personal thing. And then I've heard people to say not close it up so it gets air, and people say close it up to get air. But I did a bunch of seeds, and what I did is I stuck them in here. I closed them up, and then I just put them upside down on top of my refrigerator. I don't think that's cold. I don't think that's a dark place, but I was able to, from that point, get out the seeds and test them. So this is I always say them wrong, yard long. Maybe I will get the packet for you. There is a seed. I grew these, and let's see here. There was only one in there. That's weird. So there's another one. There's, all right, 3. Stick them in their bag. I did this probably with, I don't know, 30 seed packets, and I did label them when I did that. These are just seeds I just grew, and I just want to, I've never harvested my own seeds. I want to see if they're good. This was the okra that did well in my garden. There's some coming out right there. Don't want to get all of them. There we go. Take them over. Oop, you got to get them on the paper towel. All right. Got them on the paper towel. I'm going to go grab that seed packet for these beans. I don't remember what they are. Chinese red noodle bean. And I did like them when I got enough. They cook up green. They're red when you pick them and they're pretty, but they did cook up green. The problem is that I didn't plant enough of them, and the Armenian cucumber took it over and kind of choked everything out. But I will try to give updates on these, but this is what I mean when I say do the seed. Wet paper towel bag seed test. These are the seeds I put in the plastic bag to do a wet paper towel test. Let's pull them out. They all look pretty successful. These were the autumn sunflowers. Let's see if it'll focus there. You can see that they all have roots. There Sunflowers. Oh, this was a Kajari melon. That's exciting. The Kajari melon. And the paper towels are still wet. So there's like a big root attached to it. These were the yard-long beans. They did sprout, but they do have some mold on them. And the okra. Yep. And the lettuce seeds. They all sprouted. Very good. And the cilantro. See here. Now these are slow to sprout. That one didn't. This one can't seem to get it to focus, but it did have some, but only like 2. And then the last one must have left on the fridge. It was the big sunflower seeds. Let's see if it's there. Yep, they also did. None of these are in season, but the cilantro, I have in the past taken these and potted them, and I've had moderate success with them. But yeah, these have nice big sprouts on them. So all my seeds are viable. It looks like the cilantro either needs more time, it does take more time to sprout, or you know, only about half of them work. But good to know that they're still good. I will be saving these to replant in the spring. Look what came up today, the cilantro seeds that we saved and planted, and they were viable. These were the lettuce seeds that I put in here that are starting to come up, so obviously they were still good and viable. Good to know. Thanks for learning and growing with the Woodpile.